Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. I am Anand, welcoming you all on behalf of Solar Quarter and First View Group to the second day of Saudi Arabia Solar Week. Hope you had a good time networking with your peers today. We'll have those networking sessions again at the end of the session. I take the opportunity to thank and welcome our partners, Huawei and Trina Solar, for extending their immense support to organize this event. We'll now play their videos.
Is it that takes us further into the future? It exists in every visible detail. And somewhere in the unexplored possibilities. We imagine countless times that dry deserts become lush oases. And now it has become a reality. Sunlight spur a new ray of hope. Make the earth green. And breathe new life everywhere. The size from rural to urban areas get simplified gradually. Conserve the nature and ensure seamless connectivity. Turning complexity into simplicity. Modular construction of data centers is designed for an intelligent digital world. To unleash cloud computing potential and to accelerate the smart future. Speed up for future transport. For every pleasure travel, green power is used to achieve an excellent experience. Modular power can be highly integrated and applied everywhere. To light up the moments you are looking forward to. Bring unlimited possibilities and make life better and convenient. Huawei Digital Power. Preserve Earth with technologies. For zero carbon, smart society.
So now, without any further delay, let's begin our second day of Saudi Arabia Solar Week. And we'll be starting with a presentation by Mr. Anirudh Agarwal, Senior Account Executive, The Solar Labs. Over to you, sir.
Hi, Anand. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope a couple of wonderful sessions lined up for today. So I begin. Anand, I'll just share my screen. Just let me know
Of
when you
course.
can see my screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible. You can carry on.
Great. So good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Anirudh, and I'll be taking just few minutes talking about a bunch of companies who have been doing some wonderful work using the technology to digitally transform their business. So Solar Labs is basically a solar software as a service platform, which is powered by artificial intelligence, and it is a cloud-based platform which helps you to design your solar projects easily in less than 30 minutes. And over the years, we have seen that there has been a tremendous increase in the cost of projects that we are building. Maybe might be some synchronizing gap between different sales team or maybe design teams, or using too many softwares to get the exact efficiency and effectiveness from the particular software. So this is where you take a lot of time to create those projects, and eventually the time and the end customer gets impacted with this, eventually leading to low conversion rates. And this is how maybe companies suffer from low conversions, a longer sales process as well. And this mostly is due to the lot of soft cost that has been leading to an increase in the profitability, also leading to low losses as well, apart from the company raises. So these kind of soft costs has been the tremendous reasons why companies have not been able to grow and increase their profitabilities, especially leading to around 0.24 rupees per dollar, around what we call maybe around $1,800 per installations. So this there was a need for an integrated platform which will not only help them to increase their profits but also lower their these soft cost. And this is where the Solar Labs comes into the picture, where you can do all those things such as design and engineering, doing site surveys, lead management, sharing faster proposals with your customers, and even doing ROIs and 3D analysis right away using a superior design tool. So our software basically is based on two use cases. One being the pre-sales, wherein you can do all those remote analysis, share proposals with your customers, 3D web link of how your project is looking like, share financial analysis, the paybacks, the ROIs, and also do unlimited designing on the right away. Other being the detailed designing and permitting, where you can do accurate 3D modeling, share system layout planning, do auto shade analysis, even do energy simulations, and export these designs to other software such as PVCAD for faster and regulatory proposals. So this not only helps you to save a lot of time and cost, but also helps you to convert more clients and sell bigger systems. As I was discussing about different pre-sales and different tools, so in pre-sales you can gather all those site information, design a 3D project, share the financial analysis, along with share all these proposals with your customers. In detail modeling, you can do precise shading analysis, you can do the energy simulation, you can customly design models for your clients. In electrical SLD part also, you can do the manual stringing also with this. All these things you can do it right away by even using that exporting to different software such as PVCAD, SketchUp, or PVSys, and even share the pricing and proposals with the customers right away using our superior design tool. As I was discussing about the companies that have been doing some amazing work using the technology. So one being the Ampler Solar, wherein earlier they were taking around 3 to 4 hours to complete a single project and doing the designing. But with the help of Solar Labs, we were able to bring the timeline to less than 30 minutes, wherein they were able to share all those designs with their customers and eventually help them to reduce that sales cycle and increase their profitability. The other being Greenland Solar, wherein the reports that we presented to the customers, they were able to see how much effective the plant is, how they will be able to see the generations part, the ROIs and everything right away. So this also helped them to reduce that sale cycle with the customers and eventually help them increase their conversion rate. So not only these major companies such as Tata Power, Thermax Limited, Adani Solar, Sterling and Wilson, and Unirac, these are already using our software. And over the years, we have installed around 30 plus gigawatt installation through our software. We have seen an increase of 30% increase in the lead conversion. We have more than 1,000 plus clients across the globe with an accuracy of 99.99% uptime. So let me just quickly take you through the software, that how it works. I'll be sharing a video for a quicker presentation. So this is the software, as you can see. You just It is a very user friendly software, and you just need to use the simple tools to design it around it, and you can always customize it according to your own needs. Like you want to make mumties, you can just snip it around the buildings wherever you want to do that. So you can just easily use these snipping tools. the polygons, the cylinders, and everything, and you can just mark the areas there you want to place. So similarly, like here, as we're designing a simple RCC roof right now, and you can just mention all those details and all, and you can always edit these dimensions also side by side. There is an artificial tool which is called the fill face, which automatically fills the panels. You can change the azimuth, the angles, the tilt degrees, the orientations, any of the ways the panels you want to see. You can change the mount height as well. Similarly, for the 10 side roof as well, you can just need to mark the areas on which you want to place the panels, and these will be placed automatically. And you can change the heights as well. You can change the tilt angles of what the 10 shed is. And then you sometimes you have to mark those skylights as well, and there might be different objects that might be on a 10 shed. So you can just use that polygon tools and other tools that are available to mark these areas. You can use multiple tools as well to copy paste it. And why these are very important, because when you copy paste it, saves you a lot of time and cost, like time to create those projects. So you don't need to again and again develop all those things. You can just use the copy paste tool. And then there is a repeat tool as well, which we will see right now. Like repeat tools help you to place multiple objects on simultaneously. So like this way, you can just place n number of tool objects right away on the top, and you can copy paste them, and you can place all those things right away on this. So this is how you can just create a simple design tool using these things. You can place some fans. There might be some fans on the top. There might be some kind of any obstructions, handrails, maybe safety lines that you want, walkways that you want to place. All those things easily you can place it in that design tool that we have. You can place it accordingly. You can use fill face or customize option of add table and place the panel automatically. Along with this, you can use these features of copy paste and use the mirror tool to place the same tin shed right away. And as you're designing all these things, you can just always check in 3D, like how your project is looking like, and you can change these things and see like this. You can check in 3D. If you want to change anything, you can directly change it and do any changes, undoing it or add panel, delete, you can do it right away. For shadow analysis as well, you can do that. Before that, you can add any inverters. There's a complete database of all those inverters and panels on this. So you can choose any inverters and panels, place wherever you want to, calculate those things, and these will be automatically added. Then you can check this shadow analysis also. You click on anywhere, save this project, and you can check the shadows also for complete year from January till December, and you will have all those things available, and you can do the shadows as well. You can check the solar excess as well. Solar excess is the irradiation data that is falling on that particular level, and that they will give you the per panel productivity from each panel that you're getting. So you can optimize those panels accordingly as well. Like you want certain panels at a certain angle and certain efficiency. So you can optimize it, and all the panels before that efficiency will automatically be rated. There are multiple features such as wire size calculator and sizing for available as well, which will help you do that. So let me just take you through the report that you will be downloading and seeing. So this is the report that you will be able to see. So there will be a name of the project that you will be see, the capacity that you are able to install. A snapshot of your project will be mentioned here. On the bottom, it will be a customized report wherein it will be your company's name and details mentioned. There's a click to view the 3D model. We'll just see at the last of the thing that how this 3D model also will look like. Then on the next page, it will be your about us page. Again, your details of your company will be mentioned here, about what your company is and all those things will be mentioned on this. The system metrics page will be the next page, wherein the PRs, the productions, and the annual production will be mentioned with the ACDC mentioned about that. The next page is an estimated savings page, where you will be able to see the savings that you are getting from the plant, how much savings you're getting, the payback period, the internal rate of return, the cost that you are incurring in these projects, that will be mentioned here with all the bar graph representations, which gives the customer a view and a better understanding of the project. The components that you are able to install, what components that you're installing, you can add those ACDC cables, etc. All those things that are available while you are editing the report, that can be entered. You can use micro inverters or optimizers as well in this. And monthly production page is available with the average production on the bottom and monthly wise production on the right hand side, with the degradation factor as well, which is again editable. Then there is again those savings page as well, which is available with that, wherein you can show the savings also to your customers, what savings that you're getting on monthly basis. The monthly wise PR table is also available with the specific generations along with this. Then there is a shadow analysis report also, which again you can show them to the regulatory part, or maybe convince customers how much shadows are there. So for June 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. will be there, and then again for December 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And then
Just I'm
there will be a
speaking loud.
conclusion which will be mentioned at the bottom, which again helps you to get that thing. Then there is a solar access tool available on the and the heat map available, which gives you that complete access of those areas. Then losses that you have considered while getting that production done will be mentioned on this page. Then there is a very interesting page which gives the customers the opportunity cost that they are getting from the solar, like with bill that they're getting with solar and bill with they're getting without solar. So this way you can show them what the difference will be in the blue and the white lines. You can show the difference of cost of their electricity bills in a year after installing a solar power plant, which again helps you to close the customers easily and in a quicker way. Last page will be an impact on the environment, the carbon offsets, the number of trees that you are able to plant per acre, and the coal that you are able to avoid. These all will be there. And the last page again will be a thank you page with your company details and everything. And this is the 3D link wherein when you log into your customers, you can show them these 3D links, and these links will be available. You can share them with any time. With the shadow analysis, the customers can see these 3D links and let you know like if they want any changes or additions to that. So all these things that are available at a single platform, integrated platform, which will eventually help you to close orders very easily, share proposals in less than 30 minutes. So this is what we are trying to do, and helping the EPC players in the market to increase their profitability and reduce the cost. Yeah, thank you so much. Up for any questions, let me know in the chat section and we'll be happy to help. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this insightful presentation. So now moving ahead with our next presentation by Mr. Osama Hussain, Project Development Director, Safir. Sir, requesting you to please share your screen.
Thank you, Anand. Um, Please let me know if you can see my
Yes, sir,
screen.
we can see your screen. You can proceed.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your time and for attending and organizing such an important event. I would like to start by presenting Safir. Safir is a JV between Al-Taqa, which is a Zahid Group company, and Total Energies. Zahid Group have around 100 years of experience in the Saudi market, covering significant diversified business sectors with more than 50 brands developed worldwide, and international presence covers more than 12 countries. Total Energies, being a global multi-energy company active in more than 130 countries. Total Energies puts sustainable development in all its dimensions at the heart of its projects and operations to contribute to the well being of people and the planet. As a part of its ambition to get to net zero by 2050, Total Energies is exponentially building its portfolio of renewable sources and storage to achieve a target of 35 gigawatt by 2025, then 100 gigawatt by 2030. Joining forces between these two industry pillars and creating Safir offers the market a unique integrated value chain that starts by looking at the solar modules from the manufacturing point of view and selecting the best ones around the world, going through the power plant products, product development, project financing, construction, and end with the highest market standard of operation and maintenance. Safir also was created to specifically focus on building a strong sustainability partnership with those clients who are committed to building a better world and aligning themselves with the vision of 2030. The relationship of what we are presenting is simply a win-win solution. Starting from the financial benefits, we offer to our clients absolutely no capex investment. And while we all know that the price of electricity will increase sooner or later, we offer a hedge against exposure to energy price fluctuation. From the environmental point of view, we are offering sustainable, clean energy with a significant reduction of carbon footprint, which can be immediately communicated as a part of the client CSR commitment, where people can come and actually see clean energy plants. Finally, the client will add value and smart usage to vacant areas on and around his facility. To quickly summarize what we are uh, doing here, we offer the market our worldwide experience that includes more than 5 plus gigawatt deployed around the world. We offer an integrated solar value chain starting from site analysis up to operation and maintenance. Saphir parent companies with decades of strong presence in the region offer the clients the comfort for long-term engagement. We offer operational excellence that is translated to the most strict HSE rules implementation. We are a multi-energy partner, and with the outstanding presence of Altaqa, who is the biggest fleet owner of mobile generators, we can offer turnkey hybrid projects to all of grid clients. And finally, we offer our clients an absolutely risk-free turnkey solution throughout the project lifetime. With this, I would like to conclude my presentation, and please feel free to reach out directly to us through the contact mentioned in this slide or at our Saphir info email. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this informative presentation. So now we move forward with a much awaited panel discussion on the topic future technology advancements in rooftop solar, focus on energy output. And to share their insights on the topic, we have in the panel Mr. Rizwan Razak, CTO, Huawei, Mr. Ahmed Hamoudeh, Sales Manager, Trina Solar, Mr. Osama Hussain, Project Development Director, Safir, Mr. Ayman, Head of On-Grid Business, Siraj Power, Mr. Fadi Mirzi, General Manager, Vomes Solar. So the session will be led by Mr. Nabi Chiradi, CTO, Desert Technologies. So now I welcome all the panelists on the screen and handing it over to Nabi sir.
Thank you, Adnan, for your presentation and for starting the session. I'm Nabi Shahadi from Desert Technology, which is the first solar panel manufacturer in the Saudi Arabia. And I would say the oldest because we are here established since 2012. And we are manufacturing solar panel here in Jeddah and to serve the local markets and the international markets. As Adnan introduced the panelists, I don't have to do that. And as you saw, we have a very prestigious speakers today from different sectors that covers, I would say, from large parts, the rooftop outside application, because most of the companies they are very active in the rooftop, and some of them since many years with large experience. I think that without delay, I would like to start the discussion and open the panel for the Q&A. Also, I would like to remind maybe if from the attendee, if there is any question, I guess that you have the discussion, you can ask your question, and then I will transmit them to the concerned panelists. I would like to start my first discussion with Osama, as Osama is tight in timing and he's going to leave us before the end of the session, unfortunately, due to other commitment. Mr. Osama, your presentation showed us an interesting, I would say, development, and also through the GV that you have now with Total Energy, which is a very old, I would say, energy company, because since they changed their logo from the oil company to the energy company, I would say it's very interesting for me to see when I learned first that. And I know that also they are more and more expanding their portfolio in the renewable energy by acquiring the commercial unity from SunPower, which gives, I would say, a large, I would say, coverage of the renewable energy. From your perspective and your point of view, as you mentioned, mainly the market, I would like, how do you see the market development here in Saudi Arabia?
Thank you, Dr. Nabi. Of course, the market in Saudi Arabia is already a well-known potential market. And this topic has been already discussed several times, and the huge potential for the Saudi market has become a well-known and proven fact. However, I would like to slightly concentrate today to speak about the commitment that we owe to our children and the young generation and the planet to contribute with any possible effort that will help reduce the destructive effort of climate changes. This commitment actually falls in our hands as individuals as well as corporates. We all know that the Vision 2030 has been a great motivator to deliver such objectives, but the constraints that we have seen in the market is that when the clients are motivated, they face the challenges of aligning their sustainability KPIs with the right partners. We have carefully studied the market challenges throughout the vast experience of both parent companies, Altaqa and Total Energies, and we have specifically created Safir to address the risks that are hindering potential clients from taking an immediate decision to create and implement their sustainability program. Here, and we will be quickly discussing these risks. The first risk is the financial risk, where the clients have not allocated or unable to allocate sufficient resources to start such a program. Hence, we offer absolutely no capex solution and enabling them to focus their resources to invest and grow their own core business. The second risk is related to product knowledge, where most of the clients are usually distant from the energy sector. We come across and place on their tip of their hands our worldwide expertise and protect them against the lack of knowledge of the premium products that we select for our projects that needs to pass through our own distinguished quality standards. And this is not only apply for the products, but also applies to any channel partner or EPC that we are going to deal with. Finally, we are addressing the operational risk, where we continue operating the solar plant for the whole lifetime of the project that may reach up to 25 years, with the highest HSE standard across the whole industry, and taking care of each and every precautionary measure to protect the lives of our individuals who are keeping these plants in the excellent operating condition all the time to deliver the quality energy that our clients expects from us. While we have addressed the risks, we should also highlight the direct and indirect benefits the clients will be gaining across the process, which include savings on their electricity bills, implementing their CSR objectives with absolutely no cost, adding value to their property by utilizing the unused space, hedging against volatile energy costs with special attention to those clients who operate off-grid powerhouses using fossil fuel, and whom we can immediately hybridize their facility and protect them against the extreme fluctuation of fuel. Having said that, and now that the long-awaited regulation is up and running, we can simply say that motivated clients have the perfect recipe to solarize each and every facility that they have with an absolutely risk-free approach. Thank you very much. By this, I would like to conclude my contribution. And once again, I would like to thank everyone for their attention.
Thank you. Through the risk mitigations and all these things. I would like to continue. With the same question. I would like to get the points because, we have been, the Saudi markets starts. First, it was in 2012 with the creation of KKR and the objective of developing 50 gigawatt project. And since then, it was different, I would say, up and down, creation after that of Repdo and the project that they launched the first round of SCACA that has been built. And this is the only project which is up running today, the round 2, which are still now, well, they were awarded and they are still somehow not entering the phase of the realization. And recently it was announced the other project. While on the side of that, and as the focus today for that session is the rooftop, what is going on the rooftop and the market. And I would like to address and start maybe with Fadi and ask him about his opinion, how the rooftop markets can develop in Saudi and what are the challenges that he's facing. And I would like to ask each of our panelists the same question. So please, you can prepare for that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nabih. Actually, as our company is specialized in commercial and industrial solar rooftop projects, so I'd like to summarize the challenges into 3 categories. Maybe the first category is the regulatory challenge, which is, I think, the most important. It is true that there are some legal frameworks and regulations for the solar rooftops, but we think that it is not enough. We need more clarifications for the procedures, more bylaws. So what we need is a strong and a comprehensive regulatory and legal framework to enable and encourage distributed generation and encourage the rooftop projects. So I think this might be the greatest challenge. And actually both SEC and ECRA need to work more on the implementation and the enforcement of the existing regulations and the development of those regulations. Going into the same aspects, there are still some specific constraints with the current rooftop regulations. For example, the limitation of 15% of the main transformer capacity should not be exceeded. For example, the legislation covers rooftop project up to 2 megawatts. So what about if we have 3 megawatt or 5 megawatt? For example, restricting the net metering scheme to 1 meter. So what if a building has more than 1 meter? And actually, the idea is that we encourage distributed generation because it will create better grid stability, it will create less grid losses. So this is mainly the first challenge, the regulatory challenge. Maybe the second challenge is the economic challenge, the feasibility of solar rooftop projects. As you know, the tariff in Saudi Arabia is relatively low tariff because in one way or another it is subsidized. So the consumer pays maybe less than the real cost of the electricity production. That is, of course, if we consider that we understand that Saudi Arabia is an oil-producing country, but the idea is that the replacement cost should be calculated and considered in the cost calculation, meaning that whatever is saved for the electricity production can be sold at the actual market prices. So, in fact, the loss of profits is a cost. So that's the main concept of, and this requires reform, doing a reform for the distorted electricity tariff, because, you know, 30 halalas is the highest tariff for commercial, 32 is for the governmental, so 30 halalas is $8 per kilowatt hour. For the industrial, it's very challenging. It's 18 halal, so it's $5 per kilowatt hour. Even for the residential category, it's 18 halal. So these figures are very challenging, especially with the nowadays with the higher procurement cost due to the problems in the high increases in the shipment cost, the logistic cost, also the scarcity of the raw material prices. Add to it lately the political impacts of the Russian-Ukraine conflict, which affects and is shaking the market, the global market, actually. And maybe the third challenge, but this can be managed, is the technical or are the technical challenges. I'd like to tackle in Saudi Arabia in specific the appreciation for the high quality standards, as Engineer Osama mentioned. So we need people to understand that the high quality standards should be maintained, whether during the design or the execution, and even during the operation and maintenance period. However, we believe, although those challenges exist, there are many, let's say, drivers or opportunities that can be exploited and additional benefits. For example, achieving the sustainability goals, the Vision 2030, reducing greenhouse gas emission, protecting the environment. I would also add to it the employment, the new job opportunities created through the green economy. Because, you know, despite the fact that there are challenges, sooner or later, the green economy will prevail. And in maybe 10 or 20 years, the green jobs, I would say, will be dominating the market. And add to it also the new knowledge and awareness in the educational sector. So creating this market awareness about the green economy, about the importance of renewable energy and energy efficiency is really an additional opportunity and benefit. And technically speaking, you know, the GCC territory and Saudi Arabia is lying within the solar belt area. So we have sun, we have another oil reserve, which is free of charge. And this must be exploited. And maybe I'll postpone another idea related to the opportunities to do storage, because, you know, still in Saudi Arabia, we did not reach this position yet. You know, in Saudi Arabia, we understand that, for example, the solar photovoltaic might be intermittent, but it's really an opportunity that the production during the peak time, during the daytime, coincides the peak demand. So this really has an additional benefit and an opportunity to the to SEC to lower the investments in new generation units, conventional generation units, because it can really help the grid. So maybe I'll talk about other matters later during the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Fadi, for that large overview about the market, and even including at the end the storage and the intermittent. Of course, that this is represent, and also the storage, for instance, for the rooftop. Our friend Usama, he mentioned also, for instance, the hybridization of certain installations, which is also very interesting. That can also make, I would say, less usage of the gas and use more solar and have more barrel to export. I would like to hear Razwan. Please, Razwan, can you give us your point regarding the market development, and particularly with the focus on the rooftop, how it's going, please?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Nabir. So with Huawei, we've entered the market at a quite early stage for Saudi Arabia, specifically with projects like Sakaka, which these specific projects following that, including Rebdo, we have also successfully been awarded as well. Now, when it comes to the commercial and industrial applications, we are working very closely to ensure that the products are qualified in accordance to SEC, but also educating the market. So as a supplier perspective, we have responsibilities to also ensure that quality brands are also considered and implemented onto these, let's say, commercial and distributed solar projects themselves. Now, I did hear earlier on discussions in regards to energy storage as well, and this is quite another interesting topic. However, we still need to, let's say, start the solar and get the trend increasing before the full requirement of energy storage starts to get required within Saudi Arabia. So we need a phase of kind of grid parity to be achieved in order for this to kind of be implemented. So we're working very closely from a supplier's perspective with companies such as SEC and also the consulting companies that are preparing, let's say, the project tender documents and, let's say, working with other EPCs, developers in the market for the medium to smaller scale projects. We haven't seen a program such as we have here, the Shams Dubai program here in Dubai. But these kind of programs will start to increase and start to develop once the knowledge of solar gets more apparent within Saudi Arabia. So I was lucky enough recently to visit the event of LEAP over in Saudi Arabia several weeks ago. Of requirement for the local market to really understand solar and how they can really implement that, and their knowledge specifically on what the paybacks are. So there's still a lot of work to do from, let's say, the solar market to really increase the market share required for Saudi Arabia. So I'll hand it back over to you, Mr. Nabir. I think your microphone is still on mute.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for this clarification on the rooftop and what you did. We all know Huawei and its performance and all these things. Of course, that the quality should be the target, but a lot of people, they always talk about the quality. It's just a name, is a name. But I know that you are very aware about the quality and the performance. But before I can go through the other, I would say, panelists, you mentioned the quality, and as I have you now, I would like to ask you, how can you see the combination, especially here in the Middle East and particularly in Saudi Arabia, in such fierce, I would say, competition, reducing the costs, and we always break record after one after the other one. How can you guarantee? And that question is not only for what Huawei can deliver, but in all the BOS.
Sure.
How can we really ensure the quality while we are, I would say, squeezing the I would say the supplier of the BOS?
So it's really coming down to working with so levelized cost of the electricity itself, and ensuring not just focusing on that initial investment cost of capex. This is something that generally gets missed within the discussions. And if we focus on that topic of LCOE, looking at the initial capex cost of balance of system, we're looking at the OPEX cost specifically, and then looking at the yield. So this is a topic that, as we know, solar is not a system that just runs for 1 year. It's typically there for 20 to 25 years and further to that as well. So from that aspect, it's really making sure that we understand from a quality perspective, can the items be maintained for that period of time? Can they withstand the harsh conditions, such as in Saudi Arabia, where we have high temperatures? The humidity levels in the coastal areas become quite high. So can these items that are going to be typically installed in the outdoor environments withstand those conditions? So from a product perspective, we ensure that we analyze the aspect of MTBF, which is the mean time before failure of all the internal components. We also ensure we assess the HALT assessment, which is a high acceleration life testing for the product itself. And then we generate, working very closely with third-party consultants to see what is the expected lifetime of our product in all environments. So we've worked very closely with consulting companies like DNVGL, for example, to provide very comfort analysis on what the life expectancy of these inverters are. So when the developers and EPCs are embedding their cost for the equipment and their maintenance cost specifically over their 20 years, they can plan accordingly to the expected failure rates of the equipment that they are considering to use. So
unfortunately, your line is unstable. It goes and it comes quite often. Okay, so we heard you about what's well. I have no doubt as I start before I ask you a question about the quality of Huawei. It's just in general speaking, because I'm always questioning and wondering about how we can keep the high level of quality, or at least certain standard of the quality, while the prices are squeezed like that. And this is a big concern. Anyway, I will come back to you.
Nabih, if you allow me, I think just to add something, I think in my opinion, quality cannot be compromised, especially that we are dealing with electrical safety, mechanical safety. And in Jordan, I'd like to share the experience is that for, let's say, luckily for small scale projects, people went into, let's say, cheap solutions, and problems happened. So in Saudi Arabia, we don't want to learn by experience. So no, we should be stringent with regards to maintaining high quality standards, high requirements, regardless of achieving a lower levelized cost of energy or a cheaper capital cost. No, we will be better off, at least from our side, not taking a project if the quality is compromised. So this is my opinion on this.
Yeah, sure. We can just, for instance, the levelized cost of electricity, we can even have 1 cent. We can have 1 cent, just increasing the lifetime from 25 years to 40 years and squeezing the other numbers. So for me today, the levelized cost of electricity is something that's, I will not say fake, but it's how can we really make it, I would say, at that level without compromising with the quality. But this is a question very important, and we can maybe discuss it later on, because also the focus of the session is about the energy output. I want to ask Mr. Ahmed Hamouda from Trina Solar about his opinion on the market, and particularly, of course, the rooftop market and its developments today and tomorrow in Saudi Arabia, please.
Hello everyone. I don't know why the camera is not shown, but no problem. First of all, thanks for all attendance for this precious and rich discussion, which actually we are missing in this time, especially when this discussion came through the most popular key people in the renewable energy sector, like Mr. Fadi and another team. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ahmed Hamouda. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Trina Solar for GCC countries. We are representing Middle East and Africa markets. I just will put one another hand with Mr. Fadi. The points he is hitting. It is very critical. All the points discussed, it is a fact. We are facing much immunities in growth, but we all believe that the market in Saudi will be one of the biggest market in the whole Arabic countries. That's point I think all we believe in. Now, just what I want to add or I want to discuss now, instead of discussion of the problem, I believe in trying to think out of the box to find a solution for these problems. I'm also with Mr. Fadi with the point he has also added that we don't need to go to low quality to increase the levelized cost of energy. As he has mentioned before, in Jordan, we saw a big and very bad samples of the low quality work. In Saudi market, I think the solution will be in new technologies. These technologies will go with high quality, also will give us a better levelized cost of energy. For the tight time, I don't want to take too much of the speaker's times. I just want to show the presentation of our product of Trina Solar, the Vertex module, and how it can solve, at least for a small solution for these problems. I think the mic is not working with you, Mr. Nabil, so I can't hear you.
I didn't say anything yet.
Okay, no problem. Just I thought you are planning to say something. I don't know if my screen is shared or not.
No, not shared. We cannot see. Even it's black. We don't see you. We don't. I don't know exactly if you're communicating.
Let me try to solve the scenario. Just screen. Just give me a second.
No, it seems that you have a problem. So maybe what I would suggest, Ahmed, I think that all the audience knows about Trina modules. It's not a secret for anybody that Trina is one of the top, even if it's not the top of the top quality. We know exactly how all the people at Trina are keen on the quality. Especially, don't forget that I set up the first production line in Trina in the early 2000s. So the quality is always good, and that we have a trust on that. So maybe if you don't mind, maybe we can move on in our questions, and then I will come back to you after I hear the others who didn't speak yet. And I would like to address Mr. Ayham the same question. I know that Siraj is very active in the, I'd say, in the Emirates, but I don't know personally their activity. I know that they have established some office here in in Saudi, but I don't know exactly about their activities and also how they see the markets, because they came to Saudi Arabia because there are a lot of announcements about the development. And I know you guys, you are mainly focused on the rooftop. So I would like to hear you the markets development here in Saudi Arabia, please. I am.
Thank you, Dr. Nabi. Thank you, panelists. Everything that's being said, I completely agree, and thank for the panelists for all the information provided. So I think we all agree, and we're saying kind of the same thing, that the Saudi market is just a massive market, just waiting to be unlocked, and that we're facing challenges. We at Siraj Power are committed not only to the UAE as a UAE company, but we're committed to the region's vision generally. So we're committed particularly to the distributed generation vision. So what we're seeing is that the challenges are limiting the market greatly today. So, you know, although there is a regulation in place that we all know of standing, as Fadi kind of rightfully said, and as Osama was saying, that there's a lot of specificities about this regulation that almost shrinks the market size to almost kind of a very small pie. So the issues I think that mainly restrict the market is you know, besides kind of some of the main technical things, is just the concept of how the metering is done. I think the concept of net billing, where in Saudi Arabia, if you were to export any solar, you kind of get you know, 5 halalas if you're commercial, industrial, and 7 halalas if you're residential. I think that is a big factor that weighs in on the decision whether it's for a customer to go and self-invest into the system, you know, as an EPC basis, or whether to go with, you know, the leasing approach that we offer, or you know, Saphir and other players in the market. So that brings down the savings that the client can benefit from the solar system, and it becomes kind of a bigger equation of how does this client's operation profile look like daily and every 5 minutes, and you know, seasonally, and it becomes a much more complex formula that makes it very difficult to kind of add a value proposition. So I think, to be honest, that is probably the biggest challenge. And you know, one question to objectively ask is, from a regulatory point of view, what was the intent in putting that? You know, we all know Saudi is a huge manufacturing hub. There's a lot of industries. And in fact, if you open up this rooftop market, you would create jobs, you would create local manufacturing, because it's such a huge market. So, so the question is, and we don't know the answer to it 100%, is from a regulatory point of view, when you have these restrictions, is it to protect the grid, because other countries have been doing it successfully, or is it to really limit, you know, export, or is it? And that's the thing that we're trying to find out, you know, because we believe in the market, and we're very patient as Siraj Power entering the market with our other colleagues, because without, you know, the industry kind of aligned in that vision and believing in it, I don't think it'll happen. And I think we all strongly believe in that. And you know, not to repeat anything that you know, the rest of the guest speakers said, but that's, intent is a very important word when it comes to Saudi Arabia's distributed solar.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. It's clear and it's very important what you said, because the big question, what limits the market? Why the market is like that, while we all know that it's a huge market and the need is big. And also through that, the easy points to see that if Saudi Arabia starts using more and more renewables, they can save more and more barrels and they can sell them. Today, the prices of the barrels is over $110.
Yeah.
It's a big money. It's a big money. When it was maybe $10, we can assume that, but today is growing and it's something which is increasing drastically. And anyhow, I will come back to you later on with other questions. And I would like to go to Fadi first, or maybe Osama is still with us for one more question.
Yes, I'm available.
Okay, so dear Osama, regarding what just has been said by Ahmed, by Ayham, that market limitation here. What is, from your understanding, limits the market to develop well, I would say?
Okay, from my humble understanding of the regulations, the Saudi Electricity Company, I think that they are having some kind of baby steps to enter the solar market. They want to check how the entry of these individual solar plants on the rooftops, how it will affect the grid. So I believe that these regulations will change with the time. And I always hear that we, from most of the industry players, that we have challenges, we have issues, we are trying to change whatever is available in our hand. I'd like to look at it in a completely different way. That let's start now, motivate the clients to work on solarizing their facilities. Maybe with the savings that they are expecting will not reach to the point that they are looking for, but with the models that we as Safir and other colleagues from who's giving the same services to our clients, we are the challenges that they have right now. So if there is a change in the regulation that will help us improve whatever we have in hand, that can be done at a later stage. Why we are sound so pessimistic and just waiting for things to happen, while we have in our hands now something that we can start with. So this is how I would like to address the market and move on. The other issue that we always face, like the quality of the products that we see in the market, the quality of the work that we see in the market. And as all our distinguished speakers have said, that this is the most critical challenge that we see right now, that wrong designs, wrong figures that has been given to the clients, where it doesn't reflect the real cost of a quality of the energy that they are supposed to be getting for a long-term investment like that they are supposed to be doing.
If you allow me, Nabi,
yes, please.
I just want to say that the way I see things, the limitations from SEC and ECRA, in my opinion, are not justified, because the grid capacity issues must not be a concern at this stage, because the penetration of renewable energy, okay, we understand the intermittency of the solar, but the grid can accommodate up to 30 or maybe 35% of renewable energy without any additional controls. And in my opinion, also SEC and ECRA must understand the importance of distributed generation, which has and will remain a fundamental driver for power generation at the load side. As I mentioned earlier, the benefit, direct benefit, is reducing the transmission losses. So I think, in my opinion, that SEC and ECRA should work hard on improving the environment and improving the attractiveness for distributed generations, which is mainly the solar rooftop projects, enhancing the regulatory framework, enhancing the implementation, maybe reducing the delays in handling the applications, and even creating other chances, for example, canceling all the limitations, the 2 megawatt and the 15% transformer, and the limitation for 1 meter, and even the net billing, the 5 halal, is very critical. If you go for more than 50% of the consumption, it will really hit hard the feasibility of the project, especially that the tariff is distorted. Also, SEC, ECRA, and the government, the Saudi government, should work on the doing a reform for the distorted tariff. So, okay, we don't want to hurt people, but in our opinion, that in order to create attractiveness for the solar markets, the tariff should reflect the real cost. So this is my input. Also, thinking outside the box, for example, creating other ideas such as the wheeling. It was created in Jordan. It was an innovative idea, which is like off-site net metering. So some cases that a facility will not have enough space to install a solar power plant, so the consumer can install in another location and inject to the grid as if it is injected at his facility. So this is what we need from the Saudi government, from SEC, from ECRA, is to encourage this market.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's clear. And someone from the audience, he says that as far as the government is heavily subsidizing the power, it will not be very interesting for people to install the solar, which is somehow true, of course, that the prices are too low. That's for the competitiveness. Even if we look that through the time, and we say that the payback is maybe 7 to 9 years maximum, it's remained quite complicated and not very, I would say, attractive enough to the population to install the solar. I would like to ask Ahmed regarding now some challenges in terms of project developments, and mainly focusing on just rooftop, please, because I can understand, and it's normal that we cannot go because Trina is one of the two voices. One is for M12 and the other one remain at M10 cell. Regarding the challenge in the construction for the rooftop, what do you see as is going to be tomorrow the standard for the rooftop, and in order to cope with, I would say, the output and the better optimization of the utilization of the surface. In my point of view, and since the beginning, 60 cells were the most, I would say, commonly installed modules in the rooftop in order to optimize the surface. But now with that race in the big size, and the bigger is always better, as others says, what do you see? How do you see that, and what are the challenges behind that, please? We can't hear you, Ahmed. Ahmed, we can't hear you.
Yes. Again, thank you, Mr. Nabil, for your question. It is a very important question, and honestly, it is a good question. Now, what we believe now? Let's say that we are talking about Saudi as a special market for this speech. Let's collect all the points my colleagues here in the speech discussed. It's all right. Now, from my opinion, we will not cut the problem from the half, but at least we need to do something to stop the bleeding. So, what Trina provided for this type of problems, we provide a small solutions, which is the 210 solar modules of Vertex, which can solve, which can provide a small solution for all the problems mentioned, as levelized cost of energy and the CAPEX scenario, and the area problems. As we know that we have actually in our sector, we have three main problems: the area problem, the levelized cost of energy problem, and the CAPEX problem. So with going to use Trina Vertex modules, at least we will stop the bleeding of the whole problem. So if you can allow to me to introduce my product presentation.
It should be short because it was not in the maybe one slide or two slides maximum.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, after the panel discussion ends, we can have your presentation, like proper presentation.
Yeah, okay,
It's
no
10
problem,
minutes.
no problem.
Yeah.
So I believe now with using the highest efficiency modules, with using the highest efficiency and big size modules, we can do two things. First thing, that we can reduce the cost of the freight. Now, for our new products, we have a larger volume in one container, so which can reflect around 10 to 15% of the older modules. So we can first thing, we solved the problem of the freight, which can support us in the two things. For the CAPEX and the levelized cost of energy. It will help both the ABC and the end user. When the ABC feel comfortable, when he has better pricing for the material, he will offer better pricing to the end user. This is one thing. The second thing, that now you are producing a higher efficiency product, which can help and support you for the area problems. Now, what I believe and what Trina believe, the coming market will be for the higher efficiency modules and the biggest size modules, for some also technical reasons, that we can gain a high string power through the inverter. So now also we can reduce the cost of the cabling, and we can reduce the cost of the miscellaneous tools through using this type of modules. That's my brief, and that's my opinion. Furthermore, that's a fact. We are having expected problems coming soon. Hopefully, it will not come like the scenario between Ukraine and Russia. This may affect the world demand. This may affect the material prices. This may affect the all of things else. That's all.
Well, it's not. If something happens, it's going to happen for everybody and all the sectors. It's not only the solar sector that will be suffering from it. And anyway, but again, when you mentioned, because you, of course, promote the benefits of big size modules that you developed, as others also are doing. But when I, before my, at the beginning of my question, I said that in order to optimize, because when you have big size, you have a limited number of modules that you can put on a rooftop. But when you have, and it's always fits, if it fits 100% to the surface, is perfect. But the experience showed since the beginning of the solar, when we started installing that, the preference was always for the small. Even in the past time, the module, the rooftop, it was standard 60 cell and utility 72. Today we have, I'd say, larger module. So I
Yes.
don't know exactly if we can have the benefit that you mentioned in terms of reducing the cost and having the maximum power on the roof while we are using the big size.
Just we have done some studies for projects in UAE. They were using the 186 cells, then they transferred to 210 mm. There is an actual and facted effects on the generation, which can also will be the facted and actual effect for the cost and the realized cost of energy of the project. Honestly, if we can go to the solar project components. We have good percent of the for the project components which have good price. It is the cabling, and we know that the aluminum and copper prices is fluctuating. It's going up, down, up and down. Honestly, sometimes in some projects, maybe Mr. Fadi will agree with me, the cost of the cables will exceed 10 to 15% from the total cost of the project. So honestly, when we work to minimize the number of strings, so we will minimize the total length or total quantity of cables. So this is one thing. We reduce the cables, we reduce the works, the labor work, we reduce the another accessories we use in the project, and all will reflect on the cost of the project. We have the reflection of the cost of project, we have the reflection on the other things. So we believe, so for the hard markets, the best solution will be the higher efficiency and biggest module.
Okay. So I would like to. He's not here. He's coming back. Rizwan, what do you comment on that question and that the answer that's given by Ahmed?
Yeah, so from my perspective, the rooftop sector specifically, and looking at the aspect of optimization, we see a trend going towards the optimizers as well. This is becoming a more favorable solution for the commercial and industrial application. For two reasons. One is for an improvement on the yield aspect, and the other is from a safety aspect. Now, we've been with Huawei internationally outside of China now for over 10 years in the solar inverter market. So we've really had a good experience on the aspect of what are the key challenges in the solar market itself. And as we can understand, the DC part of the solar application is one of the most hazardous areas. So we do see the standards within the solar applications changing, such as the IEC standards, one coming to the UL 1699B standard, which reflects to the lengths of cables, where on a commercial application, you've got the inverters located in a controlled environment, typically in the high temperature environments. And then you've got the rooftop area with the solar panel. So the cables are generally longer, and you are then deviating against some of the standards that are currently applicable for solar applications. So this is two areas, from a cost perspective, can be supported, not just supplying a inverter and a converter, let's say, for your solar project, but also ensuring that you are compliant to the latest standards, and also ensuring that from a long-term operational perspective, it's a safe application for anybody that's.
Okay, good. Thank you. Fadi, your opinion about the large module and the challenges on the construction?
Yeah,
And
I
the
think.
outputs, at the end of the day, is the outputs. Because
So,
if we cover the total surface and we can have the maximum power, or we cover, I would say, partial limit maybe, and then with kind of.
yeah, I think this is one of the legitimate ways to optimize cost. So going to higher power class modules will not jeopardize the quality. And in fact, it would, let's say, it will have a great impact in the reduction of the balance of system components, such as cables, mounting structure, and other items. So this is a good way, and we don't have the concerns of Europeans that one person must carry a module. So maybe that's why they still use the 60 cell modules, the small size modules. So for us, the big size modules are favorable, but still there are some, let's say, the inverter manufacturers and also the combiner box manufacturers should accommodate and also the instrument manufacturers should accommodate the higher current for the large modules, for some models, of course, not all models. So this is maybe one technical hurdle that can be solved.
Okay, good. And I am, maybe your opinion about that?
Yeah, well, I think every project is really case by case, right? So, as you rightfully said, Dr. Nabi, in some cases, perhaps, a larger solar module just doesn't fit the project's end result, which is maximizing the amount of installed capacity. And, you run that scenario and it just works better. So, yeah, I always look back and say, 15 years ago when I started my solar journey, it was a lot more simpler to select components, and nowadays it's become a lot more variants and options that we have to choose from and run more optimization scenarios. So I kind of agree with everything that's being said over here, and it really comes down to like Fadi was saying, on the larger panels we're seeing as well that we can cut down on these BOS costs. The other thing about them is that the degradation of these panels and the warranties are kind of better. So when you run your simulation, you're kind of getting also because of the BOS losses, reduction in the BOS losses, you're getting a higher yield, and that on a model or on a payback period really impacts your returns. So any 0.1 to 0.5% is making kind of a big impact. So yeah, I think it's case by case. It really depends on the project and the rooftop layout and how much space you've got. But yeah, we're very much agnostic to marrying one solution, but kind of going with one that fits the project in specific.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to come back to one point that was, I would say, highlights briefly before regarding the storage. And I would like to ask Fadi regarding the combination, the solar panel, well, what you call the PV plus, which is the solar with the storage, and it's, I would say, the opportunity to use that solution or to make just a hybrid solution and then start switching and using the sun when it's sunny and using the gas when it's dark. With dark, what do you think about that?
Yes, actually, getting back to answer this, we should tackle the economic feasibility of the regular case and compare it to integrating, I would say, partial storage. In fact, I think it's premature for the Saudi market to talk about storage. However, I see a big opportunity in the net billing system because, you can take advantage of the difference between the 5 halali and the 30 halali, which we hope it will become 40 or 45 halale. And this difference can be, let's say, placed in a financial model to justify the extra investment in a partial storage, which would maybe double. Even a partial storage system might double the system price, the capital cost. So you need justification. I think in the Saudi market, this is the biggest opportunity for storage systems, provided that the electricity tariff becomes higher, or the technology prices becomes lower, which we are not seeing, at least until the end of this year. I mean, going back to the levels of 1 year and a half or 18 months ago, and also hoping that the battery storage systems will get lower. I think there is a big potential, but it's premature for the Saudi market at this stage.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Ahmed, I want to ask you that question also regarding the development of the storage. Do you see it as a good opportunity for the solar to be deployed easily and quickly, or, as Fadi says, it's premature to start thinking for storage?
This is also another good and most important case. As long as the scenario in Saudi is keep running like this, I believe that the storage solutions will be great and ideal temporary solution. We are all believe that when Saudi market will open, it will be a very big market. Now, I think Mr. Ayham mentioned before that they are working as a baby step, or no, Mr. Osama or Mr. Anad mentioned that they are working baby step. This is right, but to keep growing in this market, I believe that ESS systems, it will be a very good temporary solution we can go with. And from my whole look from the margin and the market, they are starting some good demands for lithium batteries to grow in Saudi. I have some colleagues in lithium industry. Now demand in Saudi for lithium started to be greater and greater. So energy storage system will be a temporary solution, as my colleague Fadi mentioned. Right.
Okay, and Ayham, your point regarding the storage?
Yeah, I think storage systems are premature at this stage in Saudi Arabia, and it's, as everyone's saying, it's basically a function of cost. If we're trying to make grid connected systems work without the storage, and it's the economics are kind of touching the line, or it depends on how you look at the regulation and the consumptions. Storage systems, perhaps in very small quantities, could make sense. But we're just adding a layer to the capex today. As Fadi said, if the tariff starts increasing, it makes for more room or for more justification to introduce such storage systems to complement kind of solar PV. But I think today I would say it's still premature, and it's a function also of the storage pricing falling as well. So it's maybe a combination of electricity prices rising in the near future and storage prices falling in the near future, following the same curve that we've seen in the solar market, but maybe on a more accelerated basis.
Okay, one of the points that's in the title of the session is energy output. Okay, and this brings me to talk about and to ask a short question, and they need short answer because we're gonna be almost running out of time after that. If each one start talking too long, is regarding the technology. I think that's all of you here are now using the common, what is the market is offering, mainly monoperk, which is the mainstream today. Some companies start offering the TopCon, but there are also other technologies, what would be the best technology for the Saudi Arabian market?
In my opinion, it's a pretty broad question, but to be honest, I think looking at a technology that has lower degradation, because this is a big kind of point when we're looking at squeezing. The way I like to say it is squeezing as much energy as we can out of each module. That's a very important factor. The second factor I'd say is a better temperature coefficient, and that means the module degrades less with higher temperatures. In the Saudi Arabian market or the GCC at large, we operate in very high temperatures. So the lower temperature coefficient that we have, the better response to heat we get, and the more efficient that panel becomes. So I would say those would be my top priorities when evaluating a panel today.
Okay, Ahmed. Hello, Ahmed.
Second. Yes.
Yeah, regarding the same question, regarding the technology, taking into account the environment in Saudi Arabia, hot and arid environment, high humidity, high temperature during the day, low temperature during the nights, and all these things. What would be the best technology to be applied?
As I mentioned before, that we are entering solar, we are aware about all these effects and environmental effects, and we have some special designs for products which will be allocated for some environments like Saudi Arabia with high humidity and high temperature. However, that the temperature coefficient for our Vertex products is lower than is extremely lower than the old modules. So also it will be extremely compatible with these markets. So now I want to announce that Athena Solar is aware about these conditions, and we are taking all the steps to have a suitable product for these markets.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I want to have the opinion of Rizwan before he leaves us, which comes also at the end. He's not a module manufacturer, however, he's an inverter manufacturer. So if I ask you about the module and inverter technology and breakthrough technology in order to compile with the rush environment here.
Yeah, so it's a mixture, as you said. We're supplying the inverter equipment. However, that is also integrated into the solar application from a DC side. So ensuring that from the quantity of MPPTs, the functionality of the MPPT to adapt to the solar and the modules themselves in the most, let's say, suitable manner. Now, as you mentioned, the harsh environments of the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, for example. So from that aspect, we're going to be expecting high temperatures. So as Aham mentioned very clearly, the temperature coefficients are factors to consider. Also, the soiling losses, which need to be considered within the design of the project itself. And then lastly is that O&M cost aspect as well.
Okay, thank you. Fadi.
My short answer would be going to the most viable and most feasible option. So simply we plug into the simulation any module technology, then we plug in the results into a financial model and see the results. So I think this is how any decision should be made, especially that, choosing a technology against the other is not jeopardizing the quality. So we are just checking the economic feasibility and the viability of any option.
Okay, good. I think that we reach, Adnan, we reached the time. Adnan?
Yes, sir.
I think that we reached the time. We overpassed by 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
So,
shall I conclude?
yes, sir. You can give us. Can we have a presentation first by Trina, and then you can give
Okay,
us some
okay,
summary also
okay,
of all the.
okay.
Yeah. So, Ahmed, sir, you can share your screen.
Yes, yes, okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, I would like to introduce our product Vertex DE 21 Vertex 670 watt. Let me right. Okay, next page. Now, just for a quick show that this is the our Vertex production line. It started from 410 watt, then 510, 550. Then we are going to the large modules, 620 and 670. So these two modules, are the biggest modules that Trina providing to the market. What is the benefits of using this type of modules? For the highest power modules that we will gain the best levelized cost of energy. This is the specification of the product. The maximum efficiency for this product would be 21.6, which is considered one of the highest efficiencies in the market. In brief, just these modules that have high high reliability, has size standardized and stable supply. This is some examples. I don't want to enter it for a long speech. I can send the presentation for the all audience who are interested to read about some cases which can show us that the development on the levelized cost of energy, which we gained after using Vertex modules. These modules or these products are mechanically also tested as well, and enhanced tests like it has snow load, wind load tested. It have the good impact. Also, all the mechanical test it has done to this module, and it has enhanced test in comparison with another products in the market. I want to mention also that all of our products or all of our higher efficiency products, it's compatible with the whole inverters, Huawei, Sangro, Goodwe, and we have some examples with Huawei. We can show later, inshallah, to the audience that how can we use this? What is the connection for our modules using Huawei inverters? Now the most important thing, which is hit on the target, that we have a better packaging, which can give you around 370 kilowatt per each container, while we are getting around 320 kilowatt with the other products. So 40 kilowatt, which is around 10 to 15% of the total container capacity. So you have 10 to 15% reduction of the freight. So I skip on page. Here the core values for our product. We can see the capex saving is around 1.93%. The levelized cost of energy around 1.85% for the whole total life of the project. Finally, I would like to show one of our big projects using this type of modules, the higher efficiency modules. It's around 120 megawatt for these modules. Finally, thanks for all. That's my quick presentation for the Trina Solar higher efficiency modules. If anyone has any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for the quick, but I know the time is tight, so I was very fast in presentation.
Yes. So I think that with that we can conclude. I would like to thank first all our panelists here that they give us very nice and interesting inputs regarding the Saudi Arabia developed market. It's problematic in terms of the deployment and also the move in a very, I would say, large manner. But we all here also are very optimistic on that market development sometimes pretty soon, because it's not an option to not consider the solar, I would say, energy in the mix to produce the power here in Saudi Arabia. We have been hearing different points of view regarding the quality. We are all agreed that the quality should be not compromised with the prices. Even if the prices are going down, we have to look into the way to keep the quality at its highest level. Also, outside discuss the other points regarding how we can, for instance, implement or not, because here the opinions are quite shared between the one who see the markets of Saudi Arabia not really mature for the storage, others they see. But in my humble opinion, I would say combine both points of view and say we can use, I would say, the solar panel alone without, say, hybrid solution, without having, I would say, to install, to implement, to add the storage, and we can use the storage when we don't have such combination. Regarding also the technology and the size of the modules, I think that's Trina showed to us that we can handle, which was some months ago a big problem in terms for the transportation. That's transporting the large module. It's also feasible and it's affordable and it's beneficial in order to reduce the cost. In terms of the technology, I didn't get, I would say, the full real answer that I was expecting, because I have been hearing that we should have the high efficiency under rush and arid environments and hot environments in terms of temperature reduction, the minimum, because it's, and also the degradation. But we can expect that the technology is improving and we can have the right answer to that rush environment that we do have in order to have the highest level of performance. I would like to say thank you all together. And thanks, at the end, thanks the organizer who did a very great job and a big effort in organizing that week. He was very active in organizing webinars since now the COVID started, but also organizing such events in 2 days. It's a really great job, and they really appreciate following the presentations and moderate, and have the honor to moderate the session here. Thank you all together, guys.
Thank you
And
very
I
much.
give you the word.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nabi. Thank you for the organizers as well.
Thank you, sir. So I want to thank all our esteemed panelists for this wonderful session, and a very special thanks to Mr. Nabi, sir, for superbly managing the session. So with this, we have come to the end of this virtual conference. I want to thank all the attendees and our panelists for joining us and making this conference a huge success. A special thanks to our partners, Huawei and Trina Solar, for extending their support. We
Thank you very
promise
much.
to come back with many more exciting and interesting events for you all. Till then, bye from my end. The floor is now open for networking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can set the record, right?